Looks like I came down while the only guard was distracted. Pretty amazing timing, right? Dmitri, attack. Dmitri, you're a mage. Fight like one, disintegrate his sword, shock him until his heart is cooked inside his chest, summon zombies to eat his flesh, stick to your principles and prove that bad luck and good luck are all in the mind, for Katia's sake. Animate the corpse of your friend. Ye old spell list, silence heal, summon skeletons, blindness, toxic cloud, hug all kittens. Blindness could be pretty good. You're a necromancer, not a battle mage. Your actual combat spells are rather lacking. All you typically do is hide behind skeletons and run for help when things get too hot to handle. And while you would love to reanimate Landorumil's lifeless body, reanimating a corpse takes hours of ritual and preparation. Not by Skyrim standards. Of course you could just summon up a skeleton someone else made. It should at least slow the orc down while you go get help. Just flexes on it. Boom! Skadoosh! I swear it's Flynn. Wait, what's in his... He's got a tattoo. Dmitri, tell the nice orcish gentleman that you can see he's the kind of person who likes to get things done without any fuss. And you're the kind of person who would really rather not encounter death personally, hence the intense research into averting it. So you would appreciate him suggesting the course of action most likely to lead to your organs remaining internal. Sorry about the skeleton. Feel free to ransack the place. I'm okay with this. Good call, Stitches, the orc replies. If everyone gave up as easily as you do, I'd almost never have to get my kill on. But don't worry, I'm not here to ransack the place. I figured I'd just come in, rob the first couple of people I saw, then leave. It's lower risk anyway. And my math shows that it still gets pretty good returns. Oh, I admire your forethought. Thanks. I like to consider myself a professional. Anyways, hand it over. Dmitri, submit. Dmitri, be a doormat. Doormats hardly ever die. You present your meager belongings to the very professional orcish bandit, trying your best to keep the letter concealed. You try to remain calm and polite. This is enough, right? If not, I can mix potions. Maybe we could work something out, a deal or whatnot. The orc declines your offer. I'm not really looking for any long-term business arrangements here, he explains. I just had some time to kill while waiting for the patrol to pass by. Figured I'd make a little side income if you know what I'm saying. It looks like it'll fetch a good 40 drakes or so. Though I couldn't help but notice that fine piece of mail you still have in your pocket. Dmitri, be honest and tell him that all you've got on you is a letter with a ring in it. It has more sentimental value than actual value. You reluctantly reveal the letter for Katia. It's for a friend. All it contains is a ring, and that ring has more sentimental value than actual value. I know I'm in no position to negotiate, but I really appreciate it if you didn't take this. The orc says, I'll consider it, but I want to check the value myself. It won't take long. I've always kept a reference book on jewelry appraisal, squeezed tight between my Herculean glutes. Check it. Mm. My, this is a ring of firewalking. No, it's a ring of firewalking with a diamond on it? Oh, it's my lucky day. If its sentimental value is seriously higher than its actual value, this thing must be crazy sentimental. Sorry, Chestnut, but I can't see myself parting with a sweet catch like this. Hey, don't feel down. You've provided important resources to my business, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thinking I might even leave one of those scrolls here to tip you for good service. Just one scroll though, since this ring's gonna be to cash. I'll probably have to sell it at a mage's guild to get full price, which means hiking all the way up to Anvil, Charl, or Skingrad. Dmitri, discuss. Why not just ransack the mage's guild instead of selling it to them? In fact, just ransack and take every shop or fence in the world. Never buy anything. I've got to ask though, why even bother finding and selling loot like this? You seem like an intelligent person. Couldn't you just as easily break into stores, take whatever you need, and cut the money out of the equation entirely? York explains that such methods are not conducive to a long-term career as a professional highwayman. You see a lot of amateurs running around with their little axes, trying to beat the money out of things twice their size. That's why they mostly get killed on the first day. Being a professional highwayman is about safe investment. If you know what I'm saying. I'm saying I pick easy targets, don't get too greedy, and if guards corner me, I just surrender, go to jail, and break out. Done right, it provides a safe, reliable income. If I want to take chances, I just bet my money at one of the arenas. Well, the Imperial City arena anyway. Thanks for asking though. I don't find many clients who are willing to critically discuss my business strategies. It's refreshing, you know that, Roby? I think you just earned yourself both scrolls. It's fine, Dmitri. It's better than dying, right? Plus, you still have those other trinkets in the chest. Yeah, it really looks like there's no way you can turn this around. There's no way your bony necromancer arms could dislodge the sword, and no way your paltry spells could do anything besides make the highwayman angry. He's right, there's no sense in taking unnecessary chances. But this isn't all bad. You haven't lost everything. It'll be easy enough to come up with a new gift for Katia. Perhaps you could acquire some lightning scrolls to help her if she's ever in a position like this. With Landrum out of the picture, maybe you can even mix up some magica potions. You may have gotten robbed, but life will go on. Things will get better, as they always have. The Orc has no reason to harm you now that he has your money. He seems like a reasonable enough guy. Heck, he even seemed to appreciate that you were willing to talk about his business with him. His business with him. Garg failed to mention Kvatch in his list of places to sell the ring. Ask him why. This must be done. Which reminds you. For a second I thought his shoulder was bleeding. It might actually be bleeding. Which reminds you, you were saying you wanted to sell that ring at a mage's guild, right? When you were naming nearby guild halls, I couldn't help but notice that you skipped over Kvatch. It still has a guild hall, and it's just a couple miles to the east. I could buy the ring back pretty easy if you went there and... We don't talk about the Kvatch Mages Guild. As you bring your sword back, swing the tip to Ka's throat and watch him bleed to death, unable to scream. Ah, four-leaf clover. Ring, refuse to lift Orc's sausage-sized fingers. Looks like that sweet... Oh, he is dead. I had like the moment of, oh, he might just be playing dead, but no. You chose the wrong words. Where did that four-leaf clover come from? Four-leaf clover! Ring, refused to fit on Orc's sausage-sized fingers. Looks like that sweet ring got stuck when I jammed it onto my beefy sausage-sized fingers. Feels I'd have to have some bad luck today. Elsewhere. You probably should let Asotil set the amount of conversation and any singing for the trip. Katia, ask to ride the horse with Asotil. Yup, gubbed the creatures gustily just because they were such a... What? Oh, this is what's his face. Jub gubbed the creatures justly just because they were... For every race was seen today, Saint Jub slayed 6. The savage mare among the cliffs would hear no beating wings. Now every man and beast and elf in celebration sings. He stopped the winged ne'er-do-well through every star in Tamriel, and made a safer Vardenfell for Dahmer and their kin. When the priest said killing flares was poor reason to anoint, Job jumped and punched an eagle just to prove a point. that things flew above and land could not be left to live, that birds may flap and bees may buzz, but both would fear St. Job. Oi. Cyrodiil holidays are really weird. You thank Asotil for teaching you the song regardless. He says it is his pleasure. St. Job's Day is his favorite holiday since it's one of the few that celebrates the proper use of excessive violence to triumph over the forces of injustice. In this case, the forces of injustice being anything that violates the Levitation Act by flying higher than 20 feet. St. Job's Day festivities aren't bad either. Some cities spend months preparing for the celebration, hiring entertainers, building cliff racer kites, and stockpiling fireworks to deliver justice to the aforementioned kites. Truly the greatest celebration Tamriel has to offer. You tell Asotil that your favorite holiday was always Tals and Talos. I mean, I never really did the candy thing, but every year when I was younger I'd beg my parents to take me into town for Tals and Talos. The Mages Guild did this sale where everything was half off for the day, so I'd spend a year's worth of allowance getting the cheapest magic wand I could find. Usually a wand of light, and I'd usually run it empty before I even got home. My parents always thought it was a dumb thing to spend money on, since I could already see in the dark. I mean, I guess they were right. It was kind of pointless, but it was the magic of it. They never really understood. It was really special to me. And now well, I guess that old flame is still there. I don't know. It's a little funny. When I came to Cyrodiil, I was sort of trying to leave everything about my old self behind. Get new interests in everything. Sometimes I guess I'm not even sure that's what I really want. I get the suspicion that Asotil may have a checkered past. Maybe even a plaid one. But wowee, has he ever reformed. Maybe you could learn something from him. If it doesn't seem too personal, ask him what his life was like before he joined the Imperial Legion, and whether he had problems controlling his aggression and strength-enhancing intake. Sorry I'm rambling here and not really thinking. What about you? I mean, what were you like before you became a soldier, if you don't mind me asking? Asotil says he was always a soldier at heart, even before he was given the honor of joining the Imperial Legion. He'd roam the countryside, righting wrongs and standing up for those who could not protect themselves. Of course, he wasn't always a spotless example of impeccable lawfulness as he is today. Several times in his checkered past, he even had to arrest himself. That is, he would break into a prison and stay in the cell until an authority figure ordered him to leave. But he always made sure justice was served. Indeed, even the good are not above the law. Katia, consider joining the Imperial Legion. Katia's smile, it's so rare we get to see that. Like a full smile. You chuckle at his dedication, but say it does sound like a fun life. So what's it take to become a Legion soldier anyway? I mean, sorry about all the questions, I just really don't know where my life's headed right now. I guess everything's an option. Asotil warns you that can take years of training, especially here in the heart of the Empire. More remote garrisons are generally happy to accept prospective legionnaires, but in Cyrodiil it remains one of the most selective forces, second only to the Empire's blades themselves. Though if you feel the draw of Legion service, he is sure that with dedication, exercise, and a proper diet you can make your way in. Soldiers skilled in magical combat can be taken as battle mages. He encourages you to speak with one of the Legion commanders if you're interested in service. I don't have to talk to the Emperor or anything. For Legion service, Asotil tells you that it's not required, no. I can't read that. Spells, Fireball, Cat Eyes, Imperial Legion, definite maybe. You mark the Imperial Legion down as a serious possibility. Back to encouraging a cat not to cry, that's the wording. What? Why would you cry? This is one of the rare instances where it feels like the whole universe isn't trying to make you miserable. You're finally going to make it to Kvatch and deliver Quillweave's letter, and this time nothing is going to stop you. You're perfectly safe as long as Asotil is watching your back, and if you can get a magicka charge somewhere, you'd even be able to defend yourself with magic. You feel pretty good. Things are actually going your way for once, and you see no reason to believe it's going to change. Katia, while on the road, look for flax seeds and steel blue and Tolomia caps. Intolama caps? Wow, words. You aren't quite sure what those look like, but you nabbed a couple plants while Asotil was off delivering preemptive justice to some wolves. If Garg took the plants you gathered last time, you might have been at least somewhat valuable. Maybe selling this stuff could help you get started off in Kvatch. Ignore, repeat, ignore. That thing looks suspiciously like a hip flask on Asotil's mount. What? Oh, that's her satchel. Her makeshift backpack. You aren't quite sure what those things. Ignore, repeat, ignore that thing that looks suspiciously like a hip flask on Asotil's mount. Yeah, that's just her satchel. She made it. What hip flask? All you see down there is your backpack. But yeah, you are actually kind of thirsty. After your last trip, you really should have remembered to bring a canteen or something this time. You asked Asotil to swing by a tavern, but you're kind of worried that that might end poorly. Ice cream, 40 gold. 39 gold final offer. I don't see any ice cream. A while back you did pass someone selling ice cream, but it was nothing you could afford on a 0 septim budget. You hope you have money someday. You'll have some money eventually, Katia. Things have been going great lately. Soon enough you'll be able to afford all the ice cream you could hope for. Though, don't think for 1 minute that keeping away from booze isn't why things are going so well for you right now. Yeah. To be honest, you're trying not to think about it too much. Things are going pretty well right now. Sure, and saying sober all through staying sober all through yesterday probably contributed to this. But when you let yourself think about it, you start to wonder if maybe today is just a good day, and the soberness had nothing to do with it. Maybe a thimble full of wine could just be enough to turn this good day even better. No. Well, maybe today is such a good day that you'll finally be able to drink responsibly and in moderation, like everyone else can. Maybe you even desire a little drink to reward yourself for doing such a good job at staying sober. That's the kind of thoughts you are trying to avoid. Whatever, if you can keep your mind off it, it's not so bad. You just have to keep busy. Keep having something else to focus on. Katia, maybe a pebble or suitable substitute in your mouth. That's supposed to distract you from thirst by making you salivate? Wouldn't that just make you thirstier? If the plant doesn't look like it'll kill you, eat it. You've heard that putting something in your mouth can alleviate thirst. You've also heard that chewing alchemical ingredients can cause them to release magical effects. In a stroke of creativity, you decide to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and simply shove the big piece of mushroom in your mouth. It tastes okay. In retrospect, you probably could have picked a less to break off, though. Goblins. Attack cat and armor person riding the hoofed meat thing. Katia, collect a sample of all the random plants and ask someone later if some of them are useful. All you've ever known is Anvil. This is Kvatch, a whole new city, in fact a whole new start. Maybe you should learn more about it. Good idea. You ask Asotil about Kvatch, what it's like, how big it is, and how cheap the shops are, that kind of thing. She's gonna become an alchemist. He stresses that he doesn't know too much about the more laid-back aspects of city life, such as shopping, sleeping, basic social interactions, but he does his best to answer your questions anyway. He explains that Kvatch is a mountain city with a strong military history. Though there's not much demand for fighters there these days, it's about the same size as the city of Anvil, and the crime rate is far lower. It's a heavily defensible location, meaning that it's also one of the safest places to live during times of trouble. Well, one time in the past it did get utterly destroyed in an invasion, but things like that typically don't happen twice. Was that the Blue Devils? You write down as much as you can. Kvatch is a whole new opportunity for you, and you want to make sure you're starting on the right foot. You want to make sure you know exactly what awaits you. You also ask Asotil how safe the areas around the city are. Like, would it be safe to leave Kvatch on your own if you needed something outside? He says it's generally quite safe as long as you stay out of the old ruins, though there seemed to be an unusually high amount of criminal scum out this morning. Usually at this time of day you'd see one, two outlaws tops. Might be an upward trend, so stay vigilant. Katia, ask Asotil about the Kvatch Mages Guild. You're going to Kvatch anyway, so you might as well know what kind of magic they teach there. You have one more question on your mind. I'm not sure if this is a taboo topic, you begin, but what exactly is the deal with the Kvatch Mages Guild? I mean, half the people I've met refuse to talk about it, the other half seem to know nothing about it at all. Asotil tells you that it's a complicated situation. The Kvatch Mages Guild used to have a lot of enemies. Its practices were legal, and therefore perfectly fine, but many citizens still disapproved. After the necromancy ban cleared the place out, everyone was planning to simply destroy the building. That is, until she arrived. The most beautiful woman in the world. Truly, words cannot describe her justice, friend Khajiit. Bold and outgoing, strong and alluring, skin as fair as snow, hair as gold. Her smile alone can light the darkest nights. Her tears could shatter the stoniest hearts. Yet below the surface, there is something dark and manipulative, yet hopeful. Lawless yet noble. Oh, how scandalously she could skirt the edges of every law, every regulation, following all the rules but playing her own mysterious game. She was something different, something unusual, something amazing. Her very name like a divine song. Sigrid. Most of Kvatch had come to hate the Mages Guild, but it didn't matter. Within a single day, she had won the support of every citizen. She made them realize they needed a Kvatch Mages Guild. She made us all see that was the most important thing. Of course, the Kvatch Guild Hall still has a few enemies, but she'll show them they were wrong. Sigurd will show them all. I don't know how to feel about this, and I'm concerned. Even the horse is concerned. Katia, commence using Wizardly Staff as a scratching post. There are 3 very good reasons. 1, it's a wonderful stress relief. 2, keeps those lovely claws sharp. 3, personalizing a staff with one's own carving is a smart thing for any wizard to do. But the fact that you would be capable of doing it with your own body will make it your emotional, spiritual, and magical association with the staff at least an entire order of magnitude more potent than it would for any other wizard. Katia, grab a branch from the ground somewhere. With your fire powers, you can turn the end into charcoal. Then all you need to do is find some scrap paper that someone threw out, and you can set yourself up as an artist, possibly. All the best artists start out poor, hungry, and tortured by visions, so you're already most of the way there. Katia, inquire about Asotil's admiration of Sigrid. She doesn't have the magicka to make a charcoal pen. Katia, inquire about Asotil's admiration of Sigrid. You remark that Sigrid certainly sounds a very interesting lady. How long have you had feelings for her? Feelings? Asotil says. He didn't mean he was in love with her. That stuff about her being the most amazing woman in the world was just a statement of fact, an endorsement. He's only ever met her once, and that was when he was filling his justice reports with the Count. Oh, you reply. Maybe it's better if you don't push this line of inquiry any further. Katia, take inventory. You don't need to take inventory because you can just... That thing, lockpick, letter, book, map? Is that a map? Hatchet. Don't remember what this is. Bottom end of the mushroom, poppies. Those things that you picked up that I don't know the names of. Whoops. You almost forgot about your clothes and stuff. You decide to mark the robe and amulet a slightly darker color to signify you're actually wearing them. Anyways, you've got all this stuff from Quillweave's place, a bunch of plants you picked up, and the remaining half of your wizard's staff. Your plan to carve decorations into the staff didn't turn out so well, but maybe you can burn its remains into a piece of charcoal for art? You've never used charcoal before, but Quillweave says you were okay at drawing. Maybe it'll work out, and you're finally found a thing that could work. Katia, check your health and magical levels. You're not really sure how to judge your magical levels? Bear in mind that your magicka tank or whatever has been pretty much drained for the last 19 years. You haven't had much time to feel the difference between full and depleted. You're not entirely sure what you're supposed to be feeling for. It's probably something that just comes intuitively to most people who grew up with it. As for your health, you guess your health is pretty good. I mean, you don't smoke, you've got a decent amount of cardio exercise, and whenever possible, you're careful to augment your voracious carnivore appetite with Khajiit-appropriate amounts of fruits and vegetables. Your intake of alcohol has probably left you at risk for liver failure, but you haven't noticed any symptoms yet, so you're lucky there. And other than an allergy or two, you aren't aware of any chronic conditions. So yeah, your health is fine. Katia, try actually reading that book you've been writing in. It could have had valuable information in it about the surrounding cities. Sad Nord. It looks like it's just a reference text on cross-cultural grammar differences. You guess that's something a professional writer would care about. You flip through the first few pages, but it's pretty dry, and due to your drunken scrawlings, mostly illegible. Said it makes you giggle, though. It made me giggle. Ask Asotil if it'd be okay if we looted some of the bodies he's brought to justice, or if there was a law against it. You tell Asotil that when you finally make it to Kvatch, you are hoping to sell some goods to make a little money, to help get started. Would it be okay for you to, like, take any valuables off those corpses, or would it be tampering with evidence? He says to help yourself. Criminal scum have no rights, including property rights, so it's always acceptable to take their belongings whenever you want. Just make sure you leave enough of the body there for him to report how many criminals were apprehended, in the name of justice today. Katia, ride on the raft of corpses. Search them for epic loot. Whee! You thank him for the permission, slip out of his arms and climb onto the moving corpse raft. How's there still blood being dragged out from there? Don't see anything easily lootable on these guys, like weapons or shields. You're not entirely sure where to begin on a more thorough search. The whole concept is a little morbid. I'm gonna have to leave it there. My throat's starting to get messed up from voices and dry. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Yeah? See ya.